Hi guys, this is Miss Wagstaff teaching fourth grade at Flint Hill Elementary. Today we're going to do a reading lesson. You guys have all heard, I'm going to share my screen first of all. You've all heard about the central message of a story. What is the central message of the story? So good readers should be able to identify what the big idea of a story is after you've read it. What did the author want you to learn from reading that story? And authors often teach us lessons in the stories that we read. And so we're going to talk today about that. That is called the central message. And that is the lesson the reader can learn from the story. It's the reason why the author wrote the story. Sometimes it might even be called the moral of the story. So details or important events in a story will help lead you to the central message. You have to read carefully and you have to think as you're reading. What is this story trying to teach me? Okay, so here are some central messages that you may be familiar with. Always stand up for what's right. Always be honest. Don't be greedy. Sharing is caring. Never give up. Be happy with what you have. Don't judge a book by its cover. So those are some central messages in stories that you may have heard before. Okay, we're going to look at this story. Oops. Hang on. Here we go. The author in a story may tell us about a little boy who keeps trying to learn to tie his shoes over and over and over. He's trying to tie his shoes. And every time he tries, he messes up. And every chance he gets, he tries again. And one day the little boy is so happy because he finally has tied his shoes. The lesson the author would want you to learn in this story is to persevere, never give up, keep on trying. Okay, so I want you to try this one. A boy watches a bully take kids' lunches each day at school. Finally, the boy has had enough. He gets all of the kids together to tell the bully that he can't take their lunches anymore. What lesson does the author want you to learn from that story? What could the central message be? Think for just a minute. What do you think the author is trying to get us to learn in this story? To find the central message in this story, we're going to take a closer look at some of the important events. In the beginning of the story, what is the boy doing? He's watching. He's watching the bully take the kids' lunches from them. By the middle of the story, the boy has had it with the bully. He's sick of watching him. And at the end of the story, he gathers all of the other kids up together and they go stand up to the bully together. So think about how the boy changed in the story, and that can help you to come up with what the central message could be. In the end, the boy finally did something about the bully. So a central message for that story could be always stand up for what's right. You should always do what's right, do the right thing. Sometimes stories have more than one central message, and some stories have a few different lessons that can be learned or a few different ways to explain their central messages. Now, I want you to read this story to yourself. It's about two girls, Mary and Kate, and try to figure out what the central message could be in this story. Okay, try it. Okay, so in this story, Mary and Kate are using blocks to build towers. And Mary uses all of her blocks and she wishes her tower was taller. Katie uses all of her blocks to build a tower and she's not happy with how tall hers is either. So they decide to put all their blocks together and build one huge tower. What could be the central message? I hope that you said something about working together as a team. I've always heard teamwork is dream work, or we're better together. It's good to work as a team, or sharing is caring. That would be the central message. Instead of both of them being frustrated because they didn't get what they wanted, now they have worked together. So again, remember, when you're identifying the central message of a story, ask yourself these questions. What are the most important events in the story? And how did the characters change in the story? Guys, we just were using paragraphs to get the central message. Sometimes you will have a whole book. It might be one of the picture books, or even a novel can teach you have a central message in it. And a novel may have several messages throughout it, as they mentioned, but you can still apply these same questions. What are the most important events, and how do the characters change? How are the characters feeling in the story? And that helps you to determine the central message. I hope you've enjoyed our lesson today. We'll see you next time.